Hello, Gemini, and welcome back to my channel. If you do not know me, I am Princess India. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance digitally through the screen, as if you're really sitting in front of me, but you're not. But we're not going to go into details here. So welcome to your April love reading. You know what I'm saying and whatnot or whatever. I feel like I've been gone forever. Did you miss me? Because I totally missed you. Congratulations on having the highest views from last month. So we're going to do things slightly different, but slightly the same, right? So first and foremost, I'm going to do an overall energy with some oracles that I have pre-picked out for the simple fact that I don't want to take you guys time shuffling and things of the sort. You know, awkward conversation. It's not what's hot in the streets right now. But this overall energy is what's actually going to be a part of your extended reading going forward. But I figured, hey, why not just throw that in? You know what I'm saying? So anywho, we're going to start by looking at what you guys' overall energy is for you and your person of interest. Then we're going to look at hidden influences in your situation, relationship, whatever you want to call it. And then we're also going to look at blocks, right? So first, when we're looking at the overall energy between you and your person of interest, we have let go of control issues and romantic feelings. What a combination is that. Allow the situation to unfold naturally, and your feelings are real and worth exploring. If that's not a contradiction, I don't know what is. You know what I'm saying? But what I would say, first thing that hits my mind is more or less in relation to having a spiritual connection with someone, right? But attempting to control how, well, I don't even want to say spiritual connection, because they ain't got to be that deep. Literally just having feelings for someone, like feeling a connection with you, whether you feel like it's a deep spiritual connection or you just think they hot. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's the fact of, I feel these feelings and it's an attempt to force or manifest what it is that you're feeling as opposed to just allowing it to happen. The key word here is allowing, Jim. Allow. Anywho. So when we're looking at our hidden influence, we have the Yes card. Now, the first thing this makes you think about first, it makes you think about my poem. If you follow me on Facebook, you know which one I'm talking about, the one about the sun and the moon. With this being in your hidden influences, I would more or less see it as two ways. One, if you made a decision to leave someone behind, I would say that this is kind of like a hat tip from the universe saying, you made the right choice, don't doubt it. For others of you, what I'm seeing is something more or less working behind the scenes. So if we look at sun and moon, of course, it's like yin and yang energy. There needing to be that inherent balance. I'm seeing this more or less that something that you're not seeing, probably why you're trying to control the situation. Just saying. Don't shoot the messenger. But probably the reason why you're trying to control is because you're feeling something energetically or spiritually, however you want to call it. It's like it's a sensation that you want to act on, so you're attempting to control it as opposed to surrendering and allowing it to unfold. And this more or less is letting you know if there's any blockages that have been hit or any pauses, or even if it's a separation, a breakup, what have you, it's letting you know that spirit is working behind the scenes on something. And it's more or less your attempt to control it is kind of working counterintuitively with spirit. You know what I'm saying? So on to your blocks, we have vulnerability and we have not the right time. Yes, that's right on point there. Not the right time. So if you are in separation from someone, or if you just met someone and you're wondering why the person may not be, you know, tangibly acting or tangibly unfolding things, first of all, it's the retrograde. And I don't think if you just met somebody that you would want to act on that right now. I'm just saying, heads up. But other than that, if it's a separation, it's not really time for the two of you to come together, because there's a need for balance in between the two of you. And whether that's you attempting to control the situation, because these cards are for both of you. So whether it's you attempting to control the situation or if it's your person of interest attempting to control the situation, right? All in all, it's not the right time. Now, with vulnerability, this card says, this is confirmation that you are seeking to tread into the unknown, unfamiliar territory where decisions are based more on intuition than rationality. Interesting. That is like the perfect, wow. Don't let fear hold you back or allow a misguided sense that feeling vulnerable is somehow a negative condition. And you know what I feel like the sense of what's like this being in your block position is more or less you needing to learn to exist as two, wow, it's 222. Interesting. Anyway, there's a need to learn how to exist within the unknown, I guess you would say. Like being in a space where you can still move forward without knowing the answers, which requires a lot of courage and most importantly, faith and spirit, right? Faith and trust in the fact that things are always going to be unfolding in your favor. So whenever you hit blockades or blocks in your life, or if ever you hit like a stagnant point, well, first of all, if you ever hit a stagnant point, that's a sign that you're out of alignment with spirit. So that's something that needs to be noted. But a lot of times we can unknowingly create that stagnancy for ourselves by trying to control, right? And then we need to also explore why it is that we're trying to control in the first place, right? Now, on to our energy for our Geminis. So with our overall energy, and oh, just a heads up, if you are a cross watcher and you are watching this video to cross watch a Gemini, you probably may resonate more with the top line that I'm reading for Gemini. Just saying. Anyway, overall energy for Gemini. If you believe, didn't I just say faith? Okay, if you believe, Gemini, what if you believe? Whatever it is you're looking for. First card we have is the Empress. This is in your fears position. Then we have Temperance. That's in your desires position. And then we have the Six of Pentacles in your position of soul lessons. Now, having the Empress in you, that's stagnation right there. Having the Empress in your fear position, that is a level of stagnation. I get the sense, Jim. I would have to say, Jim, and this may come as a shock to you, but I think that your Gemini nature may be working against you right now. And hey, you're in good company. I'm a Gemini rising in Venus, so I feel you, okay? But the thing that I'm seeing here, it's a fear of abundance on one level. And when we talk about abundance, it's not just money. It's like a better word for that would be a fear of one's own power. What is power? It would be what that vulnerability is. It's the fact that we've all been conditioned to look at vulnerability as a weakness, to look at more feminine principle qualities as weaker than masculine principle energy and, behaviors and actions and things of the sort. So I'm kind of seeing this come out here, and I'm trying not to get super duper deep with it, but it's more or less, there's a stagnancy here because of not knowing what lies before me. So if we put this in the context of a person, it's more or less that this situation may not be fruitful or abundant anymore. It may be rather stagnant, dead, in the water. Or that stagnation can come from the fact that you broke up with this person or you guys are separate, right? But I don't necessarily feel like there's a doubt about your own innate ability to achieve happiness, like in life in general, But I think it's a fear of, oh my gosh, I'm hearing a song. Vanessa Carlton. What song is that? And if she runs away, she fears she won't be followed. What could be worse than leaving something behind? And as the depths of ocean slowly become shallow, it's loneliness she finds. If only he were mine. I don't know what song that is. I think it's Rinse? Whoa, how appropriate. If that's Rinse, that's going to be funny. I'll link that in the bottom. But that's what it is. It's more or less like and it's even reminding me of the purge readings. It's like this leg of the journey you have to complete alone, but it's like a refusal to do so. So it's like, okay, Spirit, I'll go to the next level, but I got to take this with me. And Spirit's like, no. And you're like, but I have to, you know? But I'm feeling that in the sense of a person. Now, when we move into your desires, it's temperance. So in a sense, it's a desire on a higher vibrational, like, you know, esoteric, metaphysical kind of way. It's wanting like that soul union within self and balance and all of these high vibrational, you know, high mindy type of things. On a more mundane everyday level, it's just like work-life balance. Like, I want to get my shit together. Like, I want to, you know, not be late to work every day or, you know, leave something at home. So it's a desire for balance within one's own life. But I feel like the funny thing is here is this space that you're in, it's like you created this stagnancy inadvertently. Like, I don't think you realize that, because it's this inner stance that you're taking of knowing you need to move forward but being too afraid to leave something behind or to sacrifice something. But the dope thing is that Spirit kind of like met you in like the cesspool of stagnation and is like, yo, I got this. Only thing I need you to do, let that stuff go, because it's kind of making you sink and you can get up out of here, and like what it is you're looking for is kind of going to be on the other side, but you're like, but I can't let it go. It's like not trusting yourself, your judgment, or spirit. And the whole key is here, there's an ability to have what it is that you want if you believe. You know, and what it means by believe, not just saying like, oh, I believe me and this person are going to get married and spend the rest of eternity together. No, it's like believing that everything that manifests from this point forward is always going to be in my highest good, because it has to, because that is the way that the universe works. You know what I'm saying? Even if it doesn't look like it, it's still going to be working out in my favor. Is needing to stand in that type of faith, in that type of power, that regardless of how things look, there's no need for me to attempt to control. And there's a very different thing between acting in alignment with one's faith and trying to control a situation, right? The only thing we really have control over is the self. So what you do with you, that's not controlling, because that's you. You have the right to control that. It's when you start tinkering with things externally, you know, when you're trying to maneuver into different situations. Now, clarifier here, I don't feel that Gemini is doing this maliciously, or cross-watcher. I don't feel that it's malicious. I feel it more or less like a form of codependency in a sense. It's manipulating in order to get one's needs met. But all in all, I don't feel like this is benefiting you in the slightest, for the fact that in your soul lesson, we have the Six of Pentacles, right? Now, when you look at the Six of Pentacles, what is dude doing? Dude got money and he's giving to the poor. Can the poor give back to the man with the money? No, because they're poor. That's why they're needy, and he's giving. You know what I'm saying? So this leads me to wonder, this being in your lesson position, what is the lesson that you're really learning here? It seems to me that there's a fixation more on an external situation with a relationship partner and how to make that work, or how to get this person to reciprocate to you what you already not giving yourself, because you're giving it away to other people that are in need. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, if we look at this as a visual, if we think of the Ace of Cups and how the cup runneth over, you are not giving from the runneth over. You are giving from your very own life force well, in an attempt to gain feelings, love, reciprocity, self-sacrifice in hopes of someone doing the same in return, right? It's not what's hot in the streets. Little need to be vulnerable to oneself. Just saying. So we're at 14 minutes. I'm trying to go fast. Moving on to your person of interest. Their overall energy is love yourself first. Oh, it's so wonderful how we attract what we are. Seeing love yourself first under your overall energy of if you believe, and this is me, you know, reaching. If you believe something, that means that you ascend or descend to whatever the frequency of that thing is. So when we start talking about laws of attracting, you attract what you are. If your believing is a statement to the universe that this is me, I am abundant, therefore I attract abundance, right? So what are you really believing? What is this person believing? If Gemini's lesson is to learn reciprocity, you know, to not overgive, if behind the scenes spirit is trying to cultivate balance, if Gemini is desiring balance, before I even turn the rest of these cards over, if your person has loved yourself first, your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive, I can already tell that this is a codependent relationship where somebody is giving more, right, than the other. First card for them in their fear position is the Death card. So there needs to be a transformation to happen in this situation, right? But I think Gemini, or the cross watcher, wants the situation to transform while you're still in it. Don't work like that, babe. Just saying. In your desires, well, their desires position, we have the Page of Pentacles. Little greedy, cheeky. Gimme. In their soul lesson, even better, we have the Knight of Wands. I can tell you right now about this person, Gemini or cross-watcher, who is cross-watching a Gemini. The two of you are two sides of the same coin. On a soul level, little boobage there, sorry. On a soul level, there's the same wound, right? It's like a void, that hole in our soul, so to speak. The thing that we need to fill to feel validated, to feel worthy, to feel loved, to feel as if we're not invisible, that we're alive, what have you, right? That hole in our soul, that is supposed to be filled by loving oneself, right? It's the attempt to gain that from others. So, and I talked about this again in the Purge reading. If you have not watched that, you might want to, because I go into that in great length, of like King Arthur being on this never-ending quest to fix something that was never broken in the first place, right? It's like the thing that we constantly seek outside is already within us. And sometimes it takes us, you know, several different religions and spiritual disciplines and retreats and yoga, meditation, burning like 17,000 candles and incense and things of the sort, putting crystals everywhere, you know, before we realize that what we've been seeking has been with us all along, right? It's loving yourself first. If we ping back to Gemini or the cross watcher, it's more or less in the fact of when we talk about giving from your life force, or, you know, your access versus your reserves. It's giving from your reserves, meaning therefore I'm giving myself away. That's why it's self-sacrificing. Myself, my essence, my energy, my everything in here. I have it, but I choose to give it away, right? But it's a level of not being clear of either its value or thinking it's something like a commodity that should be exchanged in return, right? But it's something to, like the Empress, sit in. It's the seat of the soul, taking a seat within oneself, within one's power. That's where the abundance springs. When we take that seat within ourselves in the director's chair of life, we ascend to a higher consciousness, right? That higher consciousness allows us to see things for what they are. And everything automatically becomes that, in alignment with that energy. And that's kind of going back to what I said in the beginning about like fearing abundance or fearing your own power. It sounds crazy in a very linear sense of like, why would I fear my own power? But you have to think about the fact that we're playing a conscious versus subconscious, like Jedi mind trick game with ourselves. But let's not get so existential. Back to your person. So anyway, so with them loving themselves, there's a lack of self-love on both ends, is just manifesting differently. And I feel the charge to even say that there's a need to dig deeper on what that really means. Because you ask a person if you love yourself, and it's like, of course I love myself. What do you mean? Of course. But it's like, do you really know what that means? What does loving yourself really mean? Verbalize that. You know? So with our person of interest, there's a need to be an end to how the two of you have been relating to each other. And to me, it's a thing of power. It's the fact that Gemini's or the cross-watcher has been disempowered to this person. Why do I say that? Because their desire position is the Page of Pentacles. That's greedy. You know what I'm saying? It's like a childish energy that wants, like, give me. It doesn't understand the level of earning. Seeing that the person in the top row, Geminis or the cross watchers, are givers. Giving to a person who's destitute. This person needs to love themselves. So you're seeking your validation and love by overgiving. And they seek their validation through receiving. So it's taking. It's pouring into a bucket with holes in it, right? Now, this person's soul lesson with the Knight of Wands is more or less, what do you really want? What are you really looking for? What are you trying to get accomplished? It's almost as if their energy is spread in a myriad of different ways. So I would venture to say that this is someone who's like an adrenaline junkie, might be a little promiscuous, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with any and everybody and things of the sort, you know? They're world traveler, in and out, up, down, sideways, like they're not consistent or stable. This person is constantly in and out. So it very well may be you standing in this position, overly giving, thinking that one day this person is going to suddenly reciprocate. But I can tell you now, that's a deception in the sense it's not going to happen because there's no incentive to change. It's like if we sit and we allow ourselves to be, you know, objectified and pillaged by another person, you know, which is that false low vibrational understanding of what vulnerability is. And I actually said that earlier. It's the equivalent of thinking that vulnerability means laying yourself on the cross, handing them the nails and the hammers and saying, hang me up, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's thinking like it's leaving yourself completely open to be violated, in a sense, for people to use you, abuse you, treat you like a doormat. No matter how many times they block you, ghost you, leave, come back, leave, come back. Unconditional love says that vulnerability means that I just leave myself open to be disrespected. Absolutely not. That is such a low vibrational understanding of vulnerability. That is not what vulnerability is. Vulnerability is openness. It's a transparency. But when self-love and respect is in place, that's the boundary. There is no worries of a person crossing your boundaries when you love yourself, because it's like, whoa, hey, it's a boundary. You're crossing it. It's kind of disrespectful. Can't let you do that. You know? It's like, I understand you may not have known, but I'm really not cool with that. A person does it a second time, then it's like, okay, I'm going to remind you a second time that you crossed that boundary there. We're not doing that, right? If you one of those people, because see, me is just one time, babe. If you get to 3, because you're nice, you know, you Empress 3 is just, you know, 3 strikes you out, you know, whatever. That third time it's done. Because by the second time is when it becomes a pathology. This is a pattern that you're creating, right? The best predictor for future behavior is past behavior, right? So this balance within manifests without. That's where the balance needs to happen. There needs to be not giving and not over giving, but a balance between the two. When you know that a need is met, it's giving, but it's not sacrificing oneself in the process of giving, right? Now with this other person, there's supposed to be an ending and a transition to this. They don't want that, because right now it's looking to me as if Gemini plays this role of this person feels empty when they're not sucking Gemini dry or the cross-watcher dry. You know what I'm saying? If there is no overgiving, then it's like now they got to go back on this journey of trying to find something to fulfill them, right? But I can say this is an unhealthy way to relate to each other. And if this is the thing that you have one foot in and attempting to move forward of like, I know the way that we're relating isn't right, but it's like you're trying to drag this toxicity into the future, that's what's creating the stagnancy. If you already made this choice and you're second guessing it, going back to our overall energy, you made the right choice. So overall, whatever little separation or breakup or whatever is going on right now, it would be in service to both of you to focus on self, to trust and allow things to unfold, you know? But that even gets a little deeper, which is the reason why we have an extended version. So I think I'm going to call it the Lurker's Lounge, because all of my extendeds are just going to be getting all in people business, because I'm nosy and I like to do that. So, I mean, if you bout that life, if you want to know the real, then meet me in the Lurker's Lounge, and link will be below, you know, eventually. I love your freaking face. That's been your reading, Gemini. I hope to see you guys. Oh, I almost did it. Gemini, I always do this with you, the freaking Dice of Resonance. And because of that, I'm going to pick an oracle card for you. I almost signed off. Look at that. I did this with y'all like last month. All right, let me get one card from a Gemini's. Please spit it. 26 minutes. It's not that bad. Oh, that's too many cards. We're not going to be here all day, babe. Oh, no. I hope that made sense, though, Gem. Overall, I feel like this person is you're selfless and they're selfish. And I can't say whether or not the person is malicious intent. I'm going to get into that in our next reading, but whatever the case may be, whether it's malicious or not, it's just the fact that the two of you are relating to each other in a very unhealthy manner. And we have Manatee. And it says, accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. Thank you, Spirit. Hallelujahs. I'm just saying. All in your business, babe. Back with a vengeance. Dice of Resonance. If you want to, if you don't know what the Dice of Resonance is, it's the thing that I've been doing since forever. One of the subbies named it. You know, it has clarifiers. I don't interpret it. Just throw it out. It has whether the person is sun, moon, or rising, all the zodiac signs, and you have the ability to ask a yes or no question. So if you would like to ask a yes or no question, do that now. Pause me. Not when my face is looking crazy. You know how I feel about that. Just saying. Oh, and I'm going to talk about my picture in the background while I'm shaking. Wonderful lady. I met Rachel. She's an artist. I went to one of those little painting classes, and that's the picture that I painted with her. So, and she's a Taurus Gemini cusp. So shout out to you, Rachel. And also, oh my gosh, I hate when I forget names. Just follow Voodoo Bath on IG. It's another one of Painting Home Girls, you know, giving y'all a little shout out, you know. Isn't my picture cute? Lie to me. All right. You got your question ready because I'm about to toss. Interesting. Oh. So we have the X, we have Virgo, we have Sagittarius, and we have Sun. So this person can either be a Virgo Sun or Sagittarius Sun. It's something about your ex. And then the answer to your question is yes, in a few weeks. Yes. In a few weeks to whatever it is you asked. So you got 2 yeses. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, really now, Gemini, that is your reading. If you're interested in the extended, the link will be below. If it is not below, it is because I somehow ran out of time and needed to get this and personals out before I was able to upload the extended. So just check back and it'll be there. Life as a Taurus. I love your freaking face. I will see you sooner than later. Deuces!